Growing up, the Spartan hockey team, they were just like heroes to my brothers and I. We'd come and watch the games, and when they'd score and that red light would light up, it was just the coolest thing to see. And it's something I've known my whole life. I've been walking around this rink since I was 2, 3 years old, and you can call me a rink rat, I suppose, but it was just part of my life growing up, and I've been bleeding green since I was born. I grew up in a small town called Holt, Michigan, right next to Lansing. I grew up with 2 older brothers and a younger sister. My brothers and I, we played hockey since a very young age, 2 or 3 years old.
We had season tickets to all the MSU hockey games, so all the kids started going with us to the MSU hockey games before they could ever remember. So we had so many good memories, and Brennan just became absolutely obsessed with MSU and the players, and it was just a big dream for him from the very beginning.
All these players that we love so much, like Ryan Miller, John Michael Lyles, Brad Fast. Michigan State hockey was definitely a huge influence, and every time I was on the ice at Munn, I always visioned myself, playing with the Spartans, and maybe one day wearing the green and white. So that inspired me to work towards my goal. My brothers did play, and I was always trying to keep up with them and compete with them.
Brennan probably started the youngest, I'm guessing 5 or 6 years old, and I was his coach for quite a few of the years.
My dad was always very motivating and pushed me to be my very best. We had a basement shooting room, and he'd send me down there and make sure I did so many 100 pucks a day shooting. And I remember when I was 2 or 3 years old, when my dad wasn't home, whether it was my mom or my grandma was over babysitting, I'd be down there even shooting on her. She'd play goalie, and I'd shoot on her for hours, and every time I scored, I'd be singing the fight song with my rollerblades on.
1,000 black marks on the walls of the basement. He would, if I started to leave the basement, I can't play anymore, Brenny, I gotta go upstairs, he would throw his arms around my legs and just cry and beg me to stay down there.
Well, having 4 kids and three boys in travel hockey, and then our daughter gymnastics and other things, that every weekend we had 4 kids going 4 different directions.
They would play in 3 different states some weekends, so we had to help out. Mom would go one way and Dad another, and Grandpa and I would take Brenny usually wherever he had to go.
My parents, even my grandparents, have done so much for me. My grandpa was a huge part of my life. He would drive me everywhere and even pick me up from school and drive me down to Detroit.
It was just nonstop. I mean, I took care of him from the time he was born, until he left during his, I believe his senior year of high school, and played for the K-Wings. So that's tough for a young kid to leave home. And we were packed and headed to go to his game in Minnesota, when my husband suddenly passed away of a heart attack. And all the family was home except Brennan by himself in Minnesota. So I went anyway. So 2 days after John passed away, I was with Brenny, so he wasn't alone with no family. And he played hockey, and his coach let him come and sleep in my bed, and we held hands. And those kind of moments you just don't match in life.
Knocked one. Oh, bro's gonna knock me up here, Schmidt or Alex. I remember starting out as early as playing on my brother's Nintendo 64, playing the James Bond, Golden Knight, and like Mario Kart. And then like I remember us getting a PS2. Everything was always my brother. I had a brother that was 10 years older than me, and he always played video games. So I think that's kind of how I got into it, but he's never like got as serious into it as me. I grew up in a competitive family. I mean, my brother played sports and everything, and I think it was just, I didn't get serious into it until I first played his Xbox 360, and I found out you could play with other people online. And I remember just watching him play it, and like I would just sit there and watch him until he would be done, and then I'd grab it up and I'd play it until way later than I should have. Are you guys in the main house? I met people through the online aspect of it. You know, obviously when you would be playing it, people would notice who the best player is. I ended up meeting 2 friends that I still talk to now that live in Grand Rapids. The first time I ever played in a competitive tournament was in Grand Rapids, and it was just, I think $700 was the grand prize, and it was a 3v3 tournament, and we won. I don't know, I played in all kinds of different online tournaments where you could wager in. I used my dad's PayPal account. My parents, they supported me playing like at first, but they wanted me to focus more on my school and stuff. But I mean, yeah, I kept playing online tournaments. They weren't mad when they realized like I was pretty good at it. But yeah, I won a good amount of money. Not like a lot, but for a 7th and 8th grader, it was a lot of money to me. Been saving, so when I transferred, I had offers, more full rides to go other places, and they gave me the chance to come on the team as a walk-on. It was just a dream I've always had. It just meant more to me than a car or an iPhone or something like that.
2-on-1 right now, here we go.
Spartans into the zone, drop it back to Sandford, he scores! Brennan Sandford.
Opportunity for State, 2-on-0, they shoot, they score!
The goal line just out of the reach of Woods.
Yes!
Far side, goal for Michigan State! Brennan Sandford got the...
Playing here is something I was genuinely always working towards. It was always in my mind that if I were to play college hockey one day, I wanted to play here. And once it became a reality, I was playing for the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders in the USHL, and I was talking to the coaches at the time, and when it all kind of came together, it was a dream come true.
We didn't care if they're in first place, last place, who the coach was. You know, we've always been a Spartan family, and quite honestly, we never had a second choice. We never even talked to another team. Our goal was to somehow play at Michigan State.
It's still hard to believe. It's so exciting every time that he steps on the ice, and we always try to make it for warm-ups, and you know, even that is unbelievable. It's just hard to believe that he plays for Michigan State.
John took these boys to hockey. I mean, thousands of hockey games. We had season tickets back in the old demonstration hall rink. My dad was a friend of Emil Bissoni and even Mariucci's. So hockey's been in our blood, but if there's one thing that John would have enjoyed had he lived longer, would have been to watch Brenny play at MSU. It just would have been a dream come true, and he missed out on it, so hopefully he's got the best seat in the house.
Honestly, it was a lot of relief. I felt like, you know, my family's done so much for me in my life with hockey, and for me to be able to get a scholarship to come to Michigan State and play, you know, traveling so much as a younger kid and finally coming back, I can literally say I play in my backyard.
It's a wild scene here in Lincoln, Nebraska at Pinnacle Bank Arena. A sold-out crowd, over 15,000, here to see number 6 Michigan State take on their Nebraska Cornhuskers. This should be an awesome, awesome game. What an environment. I think it's safe to say this is the biggest game yet in this arena.
Guys, we got the opportunity of a lifetime where we put ourselves, and all we got to do is play as hard as we can play. I got so much faith in you that if we play hard, and we got to play smart, if we play hard and smart, I don't know who's going to beat you.
They're going to pound it in here, see if Roby can play a nice kick out. The extra pass, Goins hits the 3. Ulmer hanging in the paint, gets the roll, and Nebraska has a 1-point lead.
Backgammon, the backcourt by Copeland.
Winston back the other way off the glass. What a start early on for Cassius Winston.
Look at this
Ulmer
kid go.
Going to the hoop, has it swatted away by Kenny Goins.
Boy, that's team defense, reading it beautifully.
Copeland,
Nice.
little pump fake to the hoop for the dunk.
How about that? They bite, the ability to put it on the left and get to the rim.
7 points for Copeland, brings this crowd into it. Winston sees it. The kick out, Ward for 3. Big shot by Nick Ward.
How about the patience? He's been working on that baby. Saw him with that elbow jumper in the last game. Now bring it a little further out.
That was his first 3 of the season for Nick Ward. It came with 1 second on the shot clock. There's Borkart with the offensive rebound on the weak side. Watson for 3. Got it again. 8-0 run for Nebraska. The pass up ahead. What a finish by Gabe Brown, exploding to the hoop. Got it and the foul. And they talk about the shooting of Gabe Brown, but this kid is athletic.
They're 2 tough-minded clubs right now. Digging in on both ends of the floor.
Winston ties it at 2, was looking for the foul, and Cassius Winston now with 9 points in the half.
Understand with the 1-3-1 that this is what they need more of. Ward at that low box area. That's all Ward. I mean, he has the stamina to compete and go rim to rim with the best of them.
Winston to the hoop, got the foul and the finish. 3-point play is converted by Winston. Nebraska is back on top by 1. Winston banks in the 3.
How appropriate this building, huh?
He can't even hide the smile right now.
Yeah, put a visor on you.
Ulmer's been cold all game long.
There you
Finally hits the field goal. 2-point game. Tim Miles asking the crowd for some noise. 15,500 here. Henry for 3. Got it. He's a freshman from Indianapolis, knocking it down.
Cold-hearted.
Tillman out to Winston for 3. Hits it. And he's over 1,000 for his career.
Wow. Dagger by the little guy.
56-48, Michigan State on top, largest lead of the game.
Rebound.
Tillman with the offensive rebound. If he can corral it, it's a fresh 30. Ward comes in with a dunk. And that will do it. Michigan State will have a new school record. 19 consecutive Big Ten wins as they come into Lincoln, a hostile environment, and they get the victory. It was a hard-fought victory.
Very competitive game. Exhilarating. Michigan State, so many answers. And, of course, the lead guard, Winston, just extraordinary.
Cassius passed 1,000 points.
Yeah, baby.
Right. Good job, Cash. Now that means, though, that you got to go faster in the shower because you're the last guy. Let's go.
Let's go, man. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go.
He breaks to the basket, shots away, dances on the rim, no, tip up and in.
Braden Burke.
And that's his first point as a Spartan.
I love playing for Coach Izzo. He's taught me a lot since I've came here. Being around him and the players he has here, it's an everyday thing. You know, he brings that fire, and you can just tell that he's authentic about it. He's not fake about it. It's really who he is, and that's very appealing to someone like me. Before I played competitive basketball, I played competitive video games. It's different because it's more physical than mental, but yeah, I mean, weird as it sounds, that video games did teach me like how, like if you want to be really good at something, you know, like you got to put in a lot of time to do it.
Chief, you're looking better. Good music.
It definitely is comparable because I'd say in the summers here, you know, we lift for an hour and a half, we work out twice a day. Putting in hours into doing something for a common goal, you know, that carried over. Running up to your, he's over here waiting in the corner, far corner. Yep. You know, I'm not as good as I was, but it's after basketball, I definitely will be playing more. That's something I caught on to at a really young age, was just wanting to be the best at everything I do. Always want to just keep stepping up on the ladder.
Hey, I just said good spacing, so you were so close to him that you couldn't get the pass. Be like 20 feet behind him so you can pick up the puck. We never cycle like this. We always cycle on this side of our body so we can protect the puck. Okay? Hey, come in. So that was good. I just want to see a little more spacing, all right? So give him, an extra 5-10 feet so we can cycle the puck without you being jammed up in him, all right?
I came to the MSU hockey camps in the summers, and those guys are idols to me. And now I'm a part of it, and I've been doing it for the last 4 summers, and I can see how those kids look up to me. And I was one of those kids at one time, and to give back to those kids, it's just awesome. It's almost reliving what I was doing, and now to actually be here, it's the dream come true.
That's a great picture. Thank you very much.
It's coming out. Go Green.
It's a great sense of pride for all of us. I love that he does the community service, and he really enjoys that. He loves kids, and he loves to see the junior players grow up and hug them, shake their hand, and inspire them, to do well in hockey and basically everything else in life.
Ben, look. Pick it up here, cycle it down in the corner.
You'd like to see, guys from around here come in, and there's a little bit extra pressure, and your family's always here and your friends here. You went to high school right in the area, and you like to see guys like that thrive, and he can tell the guys, hey, what this weekend series means, or, think back to a series in the 90s or early 2000s, or when the team won the national championship in 2007. Those stories really move the culture along, and we need that passed on from generation to generation. And I think the guys that are local do a great job with that.
Hockey's more than a game. It teaches so many life lessons: self-discipline, teamwork, leadership. Playing for Michigan State, it's more than just a team. It's more than just playing a game. It's, you're playing for something. You're playing for the community. You're playing for the university. It's more than just your individual success or even your team success. You're playing so you can hang up banners in Mon and bring championships back to East Lansing.
The Breslin Center is buzzing tonight for the first top 20 matchup of Big Ten Conference play. Number 9 Maryland and number 17 Michigan State in East Lansing. Out of the post pass from Allen, Loudon connects.
And that's why Jenna Allen is so important to this offense. State game is Allen is going to connect for 3. That's a really good sign for Michigan State.
Ideal start for Michigan State. 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. Spartans have played a bit faster with Clouden at the controls this year. The handoff to Allen.
Excellent job by Michigan State to start. They come out with a win tonight, obviously knocking off a top 10 program like Maryland and getting that notch in your belt, if you will, solidifies their 17th spot and actually moves them up the ranks.
Turnover number 4 and a bucket from number 4. Another timeout for Maryland.
20-4. Sparty just doing a tremendous job setting the tone from an energy level.
Step back. Got it. Oh, 5th 3 of the quarter for Michigan State. Colley's matched up with Shanice Lewis, who scoops it up wildly around the corner.
Brenda Freese, quite frankly, trying to change the tempo of this game, trying to shake her team out of this funk.
Mike Sell came around the screen and connects. Her first points come nearly 17 minutes into this game.
Well, you can never sleep on the Terps.
And 1.
That's an excellent job by Shea Colley.
Trying to find a way for Maryland to get back into this. And so far, the recipe has been Brianna Frazier to keep the Terps around and within striking distance. Offensive rebound, Cooks. And the pump.
Talk about some fancy footwork. Phenomenal job. I love the aggressiveness you're seeing out of the Spartan club today.
Pretty smooth from Nia Clouden there. She streaks to the rim and leads up to 14. Holly steps into a long 2. 15-point Spartans lead.
A ton of ball screen action, a ton of movement by Jenna Allen coming high-low, and that's what I'm talking about. You move the defense around like that, and you attack, they have to rotate over. It's a high percentage look for Allen inside.
Nia Holly created it to Jenna Allen, and Michigan State's up by 14.
Yeah, this is Michigan State doing Michigan State.
The Spartans led for all but 23 seconds tonight, and they get their 4th ranked win of the season, and it's a huge one in this top 20 showdown for Susie Merchant's club.